Hello everyone, is Professor Sadiq Noor. Today I'm gonna show you step by step how to work with multiple worksheets and workbook, chapter number 5 in Excel, working with multiple worksheets and workbooks. So the aim of this chapter is that you have multiple worksheets and you want to join all the 5 worksheet or 6 worksheet into one. So the process of summarizing data gathered from multiple worksheet into one worksheet is called consolidation, right? So we're gonna do a consolidation. So we will create the sheets, and then whenever you do any changes to one sheet, the other also will have the changes that you made. So the objective of chapter number 5, working with multiple worksheet and workbooks, is you will be able to format the consolidated worksheet. You will use the fill using a linear series, using date and time and rounding functions, applying the custom format code, copy a worksheet. Then we're gonna drill to add data to multiple worksheet at the same time. And also you're gonna learn about how to enter formula that uses a 3D cell references. Then also we're gonna create a 3D pie chart with an exploded slice and lead lines. Then we will save the individual worksheets that we created as a separate workbooks. And then I will show you how to hide and how to view multiple workbooks. And then consolidate data by linking separate worksheet. So the first thing, we need to apply a team, right? So first I will share my screen to you. So I open Excel. I'm in Excel now. So always we start Excel with a blank worksheet, right? So once you start with the blank worksheet, now we're gonna compose the data using our worksheet. So as you know, Excel consists of columns, and then if you look at the right hand side, these are the rows. The rows are represented by numbers. All right. So I will move this. Okay. Next. Now we need to clean up this stuff. So I have to go back and erase what I typed on the page. Now the next thing is that we have to change the theme. So we will go to page layout, and then we have to go to the first group themes, click on the themes, and then we have to look for mesh. This one, mesh, M-E-S-H, mesh. And then I will zoom myself. If you look, I'm in the bottom here. I will zoom myself too, so that you're gonna see what I'm typing in here. Next, we will have to format the worksheet. So we have to drag the row heading 4. So that's 4. And we have to drag it down to 51. So now it's 16. So hold the black arrow and move it down until it changes to 51. All right. And then we have to select the column A. And then that should be 18. As you see, I'm dragging it until I see 18 in the screen tip. And then the column B. And then we have to hold the shift key and click to G. So column B and column G, whatever in between, all was selected. And then we have to go to the right of the G column until you see the 2 split black arrow. Hold the left key and drag it to 12. So all the column B, C, D, E, F, G all work simultaneously, increase the size to 12. Now in A1, so we have to go to A1 so that we will deselect what we selected. So the next step is to enter the title, the subtitle, and the row titles. So in A1, we're gonna say 12 tune, 12 tune, space, concert, venues, press the enter key. In A2, I'm gonna say consolidated space expenses worksheet. Then we have to go to A4 and we're gonna type expense category. You can tap it to go to the next column, or you can use the 4 arrows, the one, the right arrow. And then we're gonna say 2017. And then we're gonna type next is that we're gonna say 2018. Then at the same time, we want to wrap it down. So you have to press the Alt key and the Enter key, the Alt key and the Enter key together so that you could wrap the text. So projected, percentage, change. Then I'm going to D4. I'm gonna say 2018. And then I will do the same thing, 2019, then hold the Alt and Enter key. As you see, my cursor move underneath the 2. And then I will say projected, percentage, change. Then I'm in F4, and in F4, I'm gonna say 2019. And then G4, we're gonna say average, then Alt and the Enter key again, percentage, change. So we name the columns. Next, we're gonna type, now in A5, we're gonna type all the expenses one after the other. Payroll, benefits, security, rent, utilities, maintenance, advertising, and then the last one will be administrative. So after we typed all our expenses, next we have to type 1 in B5. Now this is to create a linear series, right? So in B5 we typed 1, and then we have to press the Enter key. Now we have to drag it. So we have to go here and then hold the Control and drag it down. Again, I will repeat these steps. I will delete it. First, type 1, your linear series. Then hold the control key. One of your finger has to be on the control, and move your cursor to the fill handle until you see the plus sign. Now drag it all the way to B12. All right. Next, in C5, we're gonna say 2%. Now we're gonna fill it, the 2%, from C5 all the way to C12. All right. Now, the problem is that if you filled it like this, then what's gonna happen is that you will get all the 2%. So we don't want all the cells to have 2%. So what you're gonna do, we're gonna delete it. We're gonna go back and type 2%, and then press the enter key, right? And then you can select this like this. So once you have here, and then highlight this, and then let's go to the home tab, and then let's go to editing, and then you see here I have fill under the editing group, fill, and then we will click on series. Then once you get the series dialog box, what we want to do is that we want to type what will be the step value. By default now means 1, means if you copy the 2%, all will have 2%. So we will take off the 1, and then we're gonna say 0.021. 0.021, and then click OK. As you see that we have 2, 4, 16. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10, and then we have 13, and then we also have 16.17. So they use the decimal places too. So after we have increment by decimal numbers, now the next thing is that we have to do the same thing for the next cell. So before we do, we need to have 2 decimal places. So you will go to the number group, and then you will increase with 2 decimal places. Now we will go to number E. We will go to E5, and in E5 we will say 3.00%. All right, we will say 3.00. All right, now we will highlight the whole thing, and then we will go back to the home tab. We will go to editing, fill, and then we will click the fill series, and then we will get the dialog box. And then for this one, our step is gonna be 0.01, and then click OK. As you see that we have 3, 4, 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%, 8, 9, and 10. Next now is to have a date, time, and round function to round the value. So the first thing is to use today's function. Now recall that we have used the now function to access the system date and time. You can also use today function, which returns only the date. So both functions are designed to update each time the worksheet is open. All right. So to do that, we're gonna go to G3, and then we're gonna say equal today. In your dropdown, you will see today is the second function, double click it, and then close the parentheses and enter. So we got today, October the 3rd. All right. Next, now we have to right click on G3. We have to go to the format cells, format cells. The format cell dialog box is gonna show up. And then we have to click on date, which we already in the date. And then we need to choose, you have to move this until you get to 14-March 12. So that's the one we need to change the date formation to 14-March 12. So once you have selected it, you will click OK. As you see, it said 3rd October 2023. Next, to enter the formula using the round function. Which function? Round, right? Round function in Excel is used to round the numbers to a specific number of decimal places. So just the round function is to round the numbers to a specific number of decimal places. So the round has some attributes. So the round will be round, the number that you want to round it, then comma, then the number of digits. The next attribute will be number of digit, number of digit. So the round has only two attributes. So you have to provide the number that you want to round and then the number of digits you want to round it to. So once we have this, now the next thing we want to do, we have to go to D5. And then in D5, we're going to construct the formula. So you will start with equal, round. As soon as you type round, you get the function in the dropdown. So that's the round function. Double click it. Now, if you see the screen tip, the black one is what you need to provide Excel because the function is round, but you need to indicate which number you want to round, right? So it's going to be B5 plus B5 multiply by C5. That's what I want to add up. Once they have been added to each other and multiplied, then they will be rounded. Then comma. See now you see the argument now become dark, number of digits. So we want to round it to 2. Number of digit is 2. And then close the parentheses and push the enter key. So we had 1.02. All right. Now the next one is to drag it to handle the cell C5. So go to C5 and then hold the fill handle to drag it all the way down. And then you got the numbers there. Now let's go to F5 and then we're gonna say equal round. As soon as you see in the drop down the round function, double click it. The first is you need to which number you want to round it. So we want to do D5 plus D5 multiply by E5 close the parentheses. So we need to have two parentheses actually. One for the round. And then the inner parenthesis is to evaluate the D5 plus D5 multiplied by E5. And then comma, 2. And then, so we don't need this one. So one parenthesis will work. So the starting and the closing here. Push the enter key, press the enter key. And now we will go back to F5. We will hold the fill handle and drag it all the way down until F12. Next, now we want to find the average percentage change. So that one, we are in G5. We will start with equal round. And then the numbers we want to round, you will have to open an inner parenthesis, C5 plus E5, then close the inner parenthesis, divided by 2, comma, 4. Number of digits, 4 digits. And then close the parenthesis for the round. Now press the enter key. So we get 0.025. Now, if you want to go back and figure out how I get 0.025, you will just move to G5 and double click it. That will pull up the formula, and that is what we call range finder. Range finder. So the formula is telling you which of the cells are involved that you got 0.025. Right? So you can press the escape key or you can push the enter key. So now we have to fill it down. So we get the number there. Next, we have to go to Betadine. And then we have to sum it. So go back to the home, go to the editing, and you will see the auto sum. Click the sum. Now, is your range good? You want to add up 2017 also? No, we want to start from B5, click B5 all the way to B12. B5 all the way to B12, and now press the enter key. Now you will see this green that to show you there is some error there. So click at this one down arrow to trace the error button. So here is a formula, omit adjacent cell, update formula to include the cell, help on this, ignore, right? All these you can take benefit of it. So here we're gonna say ignore the error on the trace error menu. So now I don't have the green, but that indicate that you have an error, but that's what we want to do. We want to add B5 all the way to B12. Next, D13. And then we're gonna do the same thing, the auto sum. The range is wrong. It should start from D5 all the way to D12. Push the enter key. Then we need to go and highlight, go to F13. And then we will use the auto sum again. We don't want the heading of the column, so we want to start from F5 all the way to highlight all the cells that involve. So you're going to start from F5 all the way to F12. Once the range is good, press the enter key. So once we have done that, the next one now we have to save our worksheet. a workbook. You see here it says book 1. So you will go to file, save or save as, it doesn't matter. So if you click save, it's gonna give me save as. See, now I will browse, and what I will do is I will create a new folder under the document, and then I will call it Excel chapter 5 lecture. So I will double click the folder, and now after I double click the folder, so I'm in the folder now, Excel chapter 5 lecture. So the name of the file is gonna be concert venues consolidated concert venues consolidated. Click save. If you look in the top now here, it's been named concert venues consolidated. Next now is to format the title and the subtitle. So let's select A1 and A2. And then we have to go to the cell style, and then click the cell styles. This one here is styles, and then the styles. And then we have to select the title style. The next is now, let's go to A1, and we need to change the size to 20. So you could use the big A with a cap to change it to 20, see? Or you can use the drop down and you can select 20. Now let's select A1 all the way to G1. And we're gonna merge the cell to become one column and one row. So to merge it, we will go to the alignment group, and then you will see merge and center. Click on it. As you see that it merged the cells, it become A1 now. From A1 to G1, the whole cell now is A1. And the text is being merged and in the center. Now we have to select A2, and we have to change the size. This font size should be 18, so it's already is 18, right? And then the next is we have to merge it. So highlight A2 all the way to G2, and then we will go to the merge under the alignment, merge and center. Next, now we have to select the A1 and A2, and we have to fill the background of these title and subtitle. So to do that, I will go to the font, and then I will click the bucket, the yellow bucket, and then we have to select black text 1. Black text 1. Now we have to change the font color. To change the font color while A1 and A2 is still being selected, we have to go to the font, and we have to click the drop down for the A with a red and A with a red underline. Click on it. That's the font color. And then we are looking for orange accent 6 lighter 60%. So column number 10 and row number 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this one is orange as in 6 lighter 60%. Click on it. Now the next thing is we will format the column title and the total row. So we have to select B4 all the way to G4. And then we will have to align it in the center. So you will go to the alignment group, and then you will press center. Next, now click the control key and select the A4. Once you have pressed the control and then you clicked A4 to be added in the selection, right? After that, we will go back to the styles, and then we will click the small black arrow for more. And then this time we are looking for heading number 3. Heading 1 is like this, 2, 3. So we are looking for heading number 3. Next, we have to select A13 all the way to G13. And then we have to go back to the styles. Click the small down arrow and click on total. The total style. Now click anywhere in the empty cell to show us what we did so far. Perfect. Next step is to format with a floating $sign. So let's select B5 and then hold the control key and select D5 and F5. Still hold the control key, and then we need to select D13, D13. Still I'm holding the control key, and F13. So once you have selected it, then you can do right click on any of the selected cell, and then we will click on format cells, and then we will click under the category, we click currency, and then be sure the symbols is $sign. And if we get any red, so those value in negative, they should turn to red. So to do that, we need to click the red with a parenthesis like this one, the last one. So if you have a number that is negative, so what's gonna happen is that it's gonna display in red and in a parenthesis. And then I will click OK. As you notice that the floating $sign is not gonna have any space between the number and the $sign. That's why they call it floating $sign. So always remember, if you, for example, if you selected this one and you hit the you went to the number group and you click the $sign, look the difference between the two. This is not floating, because see the gap you are getting between the $sign and the number when you clicked it, the number group, and then you click $sign. So if you don't want to have any any space between the number and the $sign, then you have to have it done in a floating dollar. So floating dollar means that you will have to select, you will do right click on it, you will go to the format cells, and then you will have to choose the category, will be currency obviously. And then if you have any negative values, you will choose how you want to indicate those negative values, and then click OK. Then you are not going to get any space, as you have seen. No space. See? So that's why they call it floating $sign. Now the next thing is we have to select, we have to create a format code. Excel assigns an internal format code to every format style listed in the format cell dialog box. These format code do not print, but acts as a template. with a placeholder to define how you want to apply unique formatting. So to do that, we will have to create a custom format code. Now, why do we need to do that? Is that a workbook might call for a visual presentation of a data that cannot be accomplished with Excel's existing format code. So we want to make it a little bit different, right? So we will have to create our custom format code. So to do that, what we need to do is that you will have to hold the control key, and then we have to select C5. We have to hold the control key, select C5 all the way to C12. Let me do it again. So select C5, control, then click on C5. So I will go back. Control. And then we have to select then hold the control key still and E5 all the way to E12, and then G5 all the way to G12. Once you have selected the cells, now release your finger from the control key and right click on any of the selected cells. And then let's go to format cells from the shortcut menu. You are in the format cells. So because we're gonna be creating our own custom format code, we will go with custom. And then we will write down the code here. Delete the general. So it's gonna be 0.00%, semicolon, space, the square, and then you will tap the color that you want. So we want magenta. Magenta, close the square bracket, space, open a parenthesis, 0.00%, and then close the parenthesis. So that's our formation now. And then I will click OK. So the formation is done, all right, for all these selected cells. Now, the book says is that we have to select B6, all the way to B12. Then hold the control key, select D6 all the way to D12, still hold the control key, and then select F6 all the way to F12. Now release your finger from the control key. Now we want to have a comma style. So you will go back to the Home tab, look for the group that says number, and then you will see the comma. So click on it. Now click anywhere in the empty cell to deselect the cell that you highlighted. Next is creating a set style. Now this step is we're gonna create our style so that we could format the 4-digit year, right? So you see the style under the Home tab, the style group, and then you will click the small black down key, and then you will go with new cell style, and then is gonna ask you what will be the name you want to give to your style. So I will name this as 4-digit year. So that's the name of my style. And then I will click format. And then I will click date. And then I will select, you will have to scroll down. And we're gonna select the one that says 14 March. 14, the last one. So scroll all the way down, select the last one, 14 March 2012. And then click. Let's go to the alignment. Under the format cell, you see the tab that says alignment. And then you will also adjust horizontally. The text alignment one by default is general. So how you want the text to be aligned. So I will go here and I say horizontally should be in the middle, center. All right. And then no need to change any of the other stuff. And then after you change it to central, now click the font tab. Under the font tab, we want to change the color to this one, orange as in 6, darker 50%. So 50, that's the one, the last one. So it's gonna turn to brown color. And then after that, you can boldface if you want to. That's your style, so you can do whatever you want. So the book doesn't change anything from the top except the color. And then you will have to click OK. You are back to the start dialog box. And then under the border, we don't want to have protection. I don't want it. I don't want fill. I don't want border. And I need the font. I want alignment. I want the number to be formatted. And then click OK. Now, where you're gonna see your style, if you look at your, sometimes it used to say cell styles. Sometimes I can see the whole style like the way mine is. Sometimes it's being condensed like this. But you have to be sure that it should say cells styles. So once you click the cell style, in my case, I see mine is 4-digit year. You see that? So if I click here, and that's the one I customized, the 4-year digit, right? So now to apply that, we have to select G3. And then we will click the style and then the 4-digit year. So I will click on it. As you see that it turns to brown. All right. It turns to brown. The next is now to check the spelling. So we're gonna go to review. Always under the review tab, and then the first is group is proofing. We have to select spelling. And then it says utilities is wrong. I will say changes. And yes, there is no more, so you are good to go. Now we will be working with multiple worksheet now. Now, as you know, in a workbook contains only one sheet. That's what you see now. But you can add as many you want. So the limit only by the amount of memory in your computer you have. I mean, it means like you can add as many you want. All right. So the next thing is to add a worksheet to a workbook, right? So remember, Excel file is what is a workbook, right? Workbook. So inside the workbook, you can have worksheets, right? So this is your worksheets. So you can have as many as you want. So next now is to copy and paste from one worksheet to the another. So what we're gonna do is that I will select the sheet 1 in the bottom of my screen when it says sheet 1. And what I will do is that one way is you can right click the sheet and then you can say move or copy, right? The other way you could do to copy one worksheet to the other, you see this triangle here. So click, the whole thing is being selected. Then I can go to home. I will hit copy. All right. And then I will click the plus sign to add the second sheet. And then I will go and hit paste. It's been done. All right. I will zoom myself. P is the same as sheet number 1. And then you have to press the escape. All right. Now, the other way that you could do, if you don't like the way I show you, like select from here, and then the whole worksheet is being selected, then you will hit copy, and then you will add a new sheet, then you will hit paste. Now, the second way is this. You will select the sheet number, right click on sheet 1, and then we will go to where it says move or copy. You will get the move or copy dialog box. And then what you need to do in here. Next that we want to add a new worksheet, and that should be to the end. All right. And then we will say create a copy and then add the new worksheet at the end and then click OK. Now you see I got sheet 1 of 2. Means I copy sheet 1 and I have it here, sheet 2. Now we can also do sheet, right click the sheet 1 again, move or copy from the shortcut menu, then click move to the end, create a copy, and then OK. So now we have 4 worksheets. All right. We have 4 worksheets. So now what we want to do is, the next thing is we have to copy the worksheet using the control key. All right. So you will select the sheet 1, then hold the control key, and then you will do right click on the other sheet like this, click on the other sheet. So all the 4 sheets is been selected. All right. So now what we want to do is we have to do, also you can go back to sheet 1 and also you could say select all. That's another option. So if you said ungroup it, now you will do right click, select all sheets. So you could select the whole sheets now. So once you have done that, now one thing notice, the moment that you have selected all these sheets are all grouped together. They've been grouped now. So how you will know that the sheet is being grouped? Look in the top here. It says the name of the workbook, and in the right of it, it says group. So whatever changes I will do in one, all the other sheet will have the same thing, right? Because you see that they are underlined with the green. So what we want to do now is to drill an entry through the worksheets. So what we want to do now, we will have to do, we have to go to, we are in sheet 1, you see it's green, and then we will go to C5, and then we're gonna type 1.5%, and then the next one, the benefits, is gonna be 2.50, and then 2, then 0, then 1, then 0, then -1, and then -2. Now, if you remember the magenta color that we created, and we said if they are turned to negative, it should have these different colors. And you have seen that it changed to magenta color, and it's different from the other. Because remember, I put -1 and -2. Now in E5, we will say 1.5, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, -1, and -2.25. So your magenta, the customized color is working in here. All right. So the next thing now, we have to change to, now we have to right click on sheet 1, and we have to ungroup the sheets so that every sheet will be individual. So you see that. If I click sheet 2, it has the same thing. It has the same thing. I did change it. See? All right. So next now is modifying the Duret theater worksheet. So now we're gonna customize the individual worksheets. So we have to double click on sheet number 2, and we have to name it. See, I double click sheet 2, and we need to name this sheet as Duret theater, and then push the enter key or press the enter key. Now we have to give it a color, so right click on Duret. When you see the shortcut menu, then click for me tab color, and then we are looking for row number 1 and number 10 column, so it should be orange. As in 6. Orange as in 6. Now let's double click cell number 2, A2, and then we're gonna add Duret theater expenses worksheet. Now we have to give the color that we have selected, so we need to select A1 and A2. A1 and A2. Then we have to go to the fill, and then we have to select, we have to go to the bucket, and then we have to select the orange as in 6, And then we have to go back to the font. And then we will select automatic. Now you can boldface that if you want to make it look nice. Next. Now we have to do some changes to the sheet number 2. Now the sheet number 2 become direct data, right? So we have to change some of the values here. So B5. In B5, we have to type 79,207.20. And then B6, we have to say 15,247 and 39 cents. And then B7, the security will be 28,175.65. And then B8 is gonna be 44,400. Now in B9, 3080. And then B10, the maintenance will be 4,295.20. And then 3,599.64. And then last 2,500 will be the administrative. So we have changed the values here. Everything look perfect. Now, if you want to change these error, click on these error, and then you can say ignore. Now you don't have that green mark on the cell. Now we have to double click sheet 1 of 2, double click it, see where I am here. We need to double click sheet number 1 of 2. And we have to name this one Truman House, and press the enter key. Now you will have to do right click, tab color, and then we need to go to row number 5 and row number 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we are looking for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the gray 60%. So this one, yeah, that's the one. So click it. Now double click the A2 and let's add Truman House and delete console, delete it. Now we have to select A1 and A2. We have to go to the bucket and we have to select the 60%. And then on the fill color, we will go to the fill automatic and you can boldface. Now in the Truman worksheet, we have to do some changes to the values in the B5. So that will be 72,870.62. 1 for 14,027 and 60 cents. And then we have 25,921.60. And then we have 13,248. In B9, we have to do 2,833.60. And then we have to do 3,951 and 58. And then 3,311 and 58 cents, 67 cents. And then lastly, in B12, we have to say $2,250. Now, if you want to get rid of this green, you just go here, ignore the arrow. So everything has changed. Next, now we have to modify the third one, the sheet 1 of 3. So we will double click it. And then we have to change this to stage space Zandu. It stays Zenado. And press enter key. Then do right click on it. Go to the tab color and click on light blue. Light blue under the standard. All right. Now double click the A2 and let's add a stage Xanadu and delete the consolidated. Press the enter key. Now select the A1 and A2. Go to the bucket. Give me the light blue. And then you can go to the font color, select automatic, and boldface. So all my worksheet is so far good to go, as we have to change the data here in this one. In B5, we're gonna say 88,712 and 0 cents, 0.6 cents. Then 17,007, and then 31,556.73, 16,128, and then 3,449 and 60 cents. In B10, which is the maintenance, 4,810 and 62 cents. 4,031 and 60 cents. And 2,700. Then it says that you have an error, so click the yellow, and then you can say ignore. Now everything looks perfect. So the next is now referencing the cell across the worksheet. With the 3 location worksheet complete, you now can consolidate the data. Because this consolidation worksheet contains total of the data, you need to reference cell data from other worksheet. Now let's go to sheet number 1, double click it, and we will name the sheet as consolidated. Press the enter key. And then we have to do right click, tab color, and then we need black text 1. Now if you click here, you will see I have black color, I have the orange, the Truman has a gray, and then the Xanadu has a blue color. Okay. Now to enter a 3D references. Now what we want to do is to enter 3D reference references formula. So how we do that? Why do we need to enter a 3D reference? Using a 3D references is the most efficient method of referencing the cells that reside in the same location on a different worksheet. Again, why do we need a 3D reference? Using a 3D reference is the most efficient method of referencing cells that reside in the same location on a different worksheet, right? So what we want to do now is that we have to go to the consolidated sheet, which we are there. And then we will select B5 because that's our consolidated worksheet, right? So we want to pick up, we want to sum all the payroll from the other, like the payroll for this one, the due rate, the payroll for this one, and then I'll have to add the payroll for the stage Xanadu, right? So go back to the consolidated and then go back to the home tab, and then under the editing group, you will see the auto sum, click the sum. Now it is 27, so that's not the one I want, right? So what you need to do, click here, right? And then what we want to do is that we have to select the number one. Okay, so the number one is, you will go to the due rate, you will click on this one, all right? And then you will go to the next one, so comma, and now it says, where is your number two? So I will go to the Truman, I will select B5 in the Truman worksheet, then comma, then I will click on stage Xanadu, and I will click on this number here, and then I will press the enter key. Now I should go back direct to the consolidated sheet. Look, it says 247.89. So if I double click here to show you, in due rate worksheet, B5 was added, then comma you pressed, then you selected B5 in the Truman House worksheet, then you put the comma, and then in the stage Xanadu, you selected the B5 column, and then you get the total 240,789.88 right? Now, what we can do is that we could fill it down. Like I will select this and then I will fill it down with the fill handle. So all is done. All is done. Now, except that if you don't want the dollar sign with it, what you could do is just you will have a comma, and that's it. You see? Next. Now, anything I can change from here is gonna affect the numbers here. So that's the good thing. If I change this, now remember, we had 240, right? So if I go here in due rate and I click here and I say 90,000, right? Now let's get to the consolidated. You see what happened. It was 240,789. Now see, whatever change you do in the other sheet, the consolidated will have, will also change. So now it says 259. So I will go back and I will undo what I did. Then I will go back to my consolidated sheet, 240. So whatever changes you do in those other sheets, the consolidated will be affected. So click save. So the next is to format a pie chart. So to create the pie chart, we have to select B5, A5, all the way to B12. Then hold the control key. So from A5, from A5 all the way to B12, that's the B12. And then we have to go to insert, the group that said charts. And then you will see the insert pie or donut chart. Click on the small down arrow. And then click on the 3D pie. There you go. Now we need to change the title of the chart. Highlight the chart title and replace by 2017 consolidated expenses. Then press the enter key, or you can click anywhere. Next, we need is that if you want to change the style to 3, so we need to change the style to 3. So to change the style, I have 2 ways to change it. One way is from the ribbon here. The other one is from the pencil here. You see there was like a pencil. So that also is the format. So you can click that and then we can change it, right? So it's the same thing. It's up to you which way you wanna apply the formation, the style. So if you click here, you see the brush I was telling you, this one here, the second icon. If you click on it, it's the same that you see here, here, and then if you see this one is the same. So when you move your cursor over it, it's gonna tell you what style is there. So we want the style number 3. So we change the style to 3. Now we have to move the chart on the same worksheet because now see the chart is over my data, right? So first, before we move it, we need to deselect this. So this will hide. So click the pencil again. Now we need to move the chart. So move to the border and then drag it down. Drag it down. Right? So we wanna resize the chart. So we wanna start with A15. So that's A15. Perfect. And then we wanna stretch it to 34. Row number 34. And then G34. All right. You can also use the dots, the circle, the white circle to resize your chart. Now we have to explore the slice. So the book says, why do we need to explore the slide? Exploding or offsetting a slice in a chart emphasize it, to put more emphasis on that specific slice. So to do that, we will have to do right click on the security slice. So the security, this is the benefit, this is the security. So do right click on it. And then you have to click on format the data. So again, we don't want the whole thing. You see the dots, everything this side. So we need only the security one. So I clicked it again to deselect the other ones and then do right click. And then you will see format data point. Format data point. So click on it. A new pane in the right hand side is gonna open up. All right. And then it says point of exclusion. So be sure that the third option has been checked. And then we will move the bar until it becomes 20%. If you have problem, just go here and type 20%. Now we need to rotate the 3D pie chart. We want to rotate the pie chart. When Excel initially draws the pie chart, it is always position the chart so that one of the dividing lines between the two slices is a straight line pointing to 12 o'clock, which is like 0 degree, as shown in here, all right? So why do we need to rotate it? So with the three-dimensional chart, you can change the view of a view to a better show the section of the chart you are trying to emphasize. So to do that, what we want to do is that we have to right click on the chart, and then we have to go to 3D rotation. When we hit the 3D rotation, then you will have X rotation, or you want to rotate Y rotation. So under the X rotation, we will go here and we will rotate it to 220 and press the enter key. As you see that the security slides now move in the other direction. Next is to format the data labels. You will choose the element to include in the data label, set the position, choose the number of formatting, and creating the leader lines. So why do we need to have a leader line? The leader line is to connect the data label with its data point, helping you identifying the individual slice. So to do that, we have to click the chart itself. As you see, I have the circle now around the chart. Then I will click on the plus, which is the chart element. And then we will go to the data labels, the second option, click the arrow for more option. And then we will have to click for more. Once you hit more, then we will go to the last option, and then you will see label option and number, right? So under the label, click the greater sign to expand. And then the label option, what you want is, we need to select the category name, all right? And then we want the percentage. And also we need to show the leader lines. And then the third thing that you need to do, the third thing here is outside. So the position of the level should be outside the end. As you see, it went outside, right? Now, if you click it down like this, and then if you want to go to the number, and then under the category, we will change it to percentage. And then we will change the decimal place to 1 instead of 2. We're gonna do 1. And then we have to close it. So hit the X to close. Now we have to drag it. Then we have to move this guy here. This will be this, the rent, utility. As I'm dragging it, so that's the leader. Okay. So everything will perfect. Just drag it the way you want it. Okay. All right, next. Next is to change the margin and center the printout horizontal. So let's do right click on the consolidated sheet, right click and select all the sheets. So all the four slides, worksheet are being selected now. You see in the top it says grouped. After that, then let's go to page layout. And then we will see the option under the page setup, and then we have a small down arrow, the launcher. So click the page setup dialog box launcher. Once you clicked it, it's gonna open this. And then the next thing we need is that we have to go to margin. And then we have to change it, the left to 0.5. The right hand will be 0.5. And then we want to be centered on the page horizontally. If you look, it was like this. When I clicked it horizontally, see it moved. And then we have to click OK. Now we have to add a header. We need to add what? A header. Headers and footer, remember? So Microsoft, they have it in all their software. So the header now, to add the header, what we need to do, we will have to go to the page layout. Page layout, we are already there. And then we will go to the, so with all the worksheet is still selected, we have the worksheet, right? So what we want to do is that we can go to insert, and then we can go to headers and footer, right? And then in Excel is a little bit different. You get these three boxes. So in the header, we're gonna say Shelly Cashman. Then click the middle box of your header. You see the header, it says it header. In the middle box, we're gonna say 12-tune concert venues as the title. And then in the right box, we have to put under the headers and footer elements, we want to add the current date. So that's the current date. Click on it. Now, to add a footer, we have to go to the footer. And then in the middle box, we have to put the sheet name. So under the headers and footer elements, we need the sheet name as the footer. And then also we need to have page number. Or we can type page, right? And then select page number. All right. Now, to review and print all the worksheet in a workbook, first, we have to right click any of the sheets, and then we have to click on select all sheet on the shortcut menu. So first we have to get out of the footer. So you have to click anywhere like here in the bottom. And then you will go back to view, and then you will say normal. So we are in the normal view now, right? Now the dotted line that you see here, it means that when you're gonna print, it's gonna print it in 2 pages, right? So what you could do is that we will have to go back to the file, print, and then we're gonna make it to be landscape. So everything is good now. And then if you want scaling here, you can say fit it into 1 page. All right, so you can see all your stuff. And then next is this. Next is the Truman. Next sheet, I'm clicking the next. So we have 4 sheets. All right. Now we have to go back. And what we want to do is right click one of the sheet and ungroup the sheets. So now all they become individual. No more group. If you look in the top, there's no such things as group. So we took it off. So we have to save our workbook. Now the next thing is to print, to create a separate file from a worksheet. We have the worksheet, but we're gonna save it as a separate files. And then I will teach you, if you have an external Excel file, how you're gonna link those external files. So the first, to create a separate to create a separate file from a worksheet, you will have to do right click on do rate data. And then you will see move or copy, you will click on it. And then in the top here, it says move selected sheet then to book, right? So what you need is you will click the drop down, and then we need to have a new book. Okay, new book. Once you selected a new book, then in the bottom you have to say copy and click OK. So the file is being created now. See, I have a separate now Excel file for the rate. All right. So I will go to file. I will save as. I will save it under the folder that I created earlier. And then I will call this one do rate data projected expenses. And then I will hit save. So the duet is done, so you can close it. Now we will do right click on the Truman. You will go to move or copy. In the first where it said to book, this time you are not copying in the same worksheet. You want to create a separate new book. So click the drop down, select new book, and then click the create a copy, click OK. And this one will pop in a separate Excel file, and it's not saved I will go to File, Save As, and I will click on my folder. And we want to call this Truman House projected expenses. I will close now this separate Excel file. Now I will go to the stage one. I will do right click on it. I will right click on the tab. And then I will go to move or copy. And then I will go here. I will say new book. Create a copy. Click OK. Now the file has been created. So I will go to File, Save or Save As, doesn't matter. Then Browse. My Excel chapter 5 folder, double click it. And then this one will be the stage Xanadu projected expenses. Then press the enter key. Now all these sheets that we had it under one concert venue, under the concert venues, now they are all separate. So this is the main one, but we create a separate for Durate, Truman, and stage Xanadu. Now we have to close the consolidated workbook, save the changes. So everything is done. Next, now we will link. A link is a reference to the cell or range of cell in another workbook now. So we're going to create a link that links any of the column in the other Excel file. So to do that, we will run to open Excel. And then we will have to open all these files that we created earlier. So we will go to File, Open, and then I will hit Browse, and then I will go to my folder, and I will select Truman. So give me a second. So we need actually to have one of the file being saved as in the new location. So we need to call that the 2018 consolidated expenses workbook. So we will cancel the step. We will go to new and a blank one, and we're gonna zoom this, and then I will go to File, Save, Browse, chapter number 5, and this one will be called 2018 consolidated expenses. Click OK. All right. Next is now we're gonna be to search for all the files, right? So I can close this one. So now let's go to Excel, and then open, and then all my files are here. So you can go to your folder, or you can just use this, like select. And the problem there when you say it's gonna open it, so what you need to do is you will open Excel again. Then you will go to open, you will hit browse. You will go to your Excel chapter 5, and then you will select the 28, this one, and this one. And now we're gonna click open. So all the files have been opened now. So the problem now is that we have to, if you go to view, if you go to view, and then you go to the switch windows, then we can switch from like this. If I want to go to the second one, then if I go back to view, go here, then I can choose the one I want to go to. All right. So what we want to do now, if you want to switch to a different open workbook, you will go to switch windows, and then you can choose the one you want to switch to. So the next thing is now we have to open the 2018, that's the one, and then we have to create this one as 12 dash tune concert venues, and then 2018 projected expenses. All right. And then we will add today's date. You can change the formation. You will do right click. You will go to format cells. And then we're gonna choose, scroll all the way down, and we are looking for this one. Now we will have to merge the cells. So select A1 all the way to C1, and then hit go to the alignment and merge. Now select the A2 all the way to C2, merged. Now the next thing is select A1 and A2, go to the set styles, and then we can also use any of the style you want, any style you want, right? So, or we can just go here and we have to use purple, and then the text will be something like white will look better. Then this one, I will change it to purple. All right. And then if you want this to be like a title kind of stuff, you can say. So it's up to you if you want to make a title. And then if you want, you can also increase the size a little bit. Right. And then if you select A1 and A2, you can boldface. Next, now we're gonna do in A4, we will increase this guy. To 60 something. And then here we're gonna say expense category. And then 2018 projected expenses. All right. Then we will highlight this. We will go to, and we can give it any heading you want. Heading 3 will be perfect. And then you can double click it to stretch the column. All right. Now you can also, you can wrap it. Suppose it was like this, you can go here, wrap the text. Okay? So you can stretch it. There you go. And then we will type here payroll, or you can just, if your sheets are here, we can copy this. So copy this to save us time. Right? And then scale. Then the next thing I'm looking at is the total. We need to find the total. So go back here to your 2018 projected expenses, and then select all the way to here. The formation I'm looking is total. All right. And then we can add the auto sum. You want to sum something that's going to be here. All right. And then you can also add the dollar sign with it. So you can go right click, format cells. You will go to currency. You will choose this, and then let's click OK. All right. Now, my second one is being designed. So what we want to do, if you want, you can boldface if you want this. We'll go back home. If you want to boldface this, you can do so. So that will be my projected expense. I will copy something from the other worksheets, workbook. Now, the problem is that I can't see all the other workbook. So to arrange multiple workbook, what you need to do, go to view, the view tab, and then you will see under Windows, the tab, the group that says window, then arrange all. When you hit the arrange all from here, you will get the arrange window dialog box. And then we want to arrange all the Excel file vertically. And then click OK. Now I see all my 3 Excel sheets, right? So what we want to do next is that we will go to this guy here, and then we will also select, we will start with, select the B5, which I'm already in B5, right? And all these other ones are a separate Excel file, right? So once you are here, we will start with equal, and I will use the sum function, double click it. Now you say, where is your first number that you want to sum? All right. So what you're gonna do, you will click on D5 for this one. All right. Then comma. Then I will go to this one. Then comma. Then I will go to this one. Right. So the thing is, now we don't want the 2017, we want the 2018, right? So we will escape it. We will do it again. So equal sum, double click the sum function. So where is your first number? Since the argument is the first, is where is your first number? So in this sheet, we will go to 2018. So select this, then comma. Then in this one also, we need to move to 2018. Then comma. Then go to this one. select this one, then close the parenthesis for the sum and push the enter key. So we sum whatever in here plus whatever in the other workbook, and then plus whatever in the other workbook. These are separable. Now, the previous steps that we did was you had different worksheets in one workbook. But now, what if you have different workbooks and you wanna do a consolidation, right? So the next thing is we cannot copy this. So we have to do it again. You will go here, equal sum, double click it, and then select the second one benefit for this one, comma, then go to this one, then comma, and then go to this one, and then close the parentheses and press the enter key. Now for the security, you will start with equal sum, and then the number one will be this one, number 3, then comma, then I will go to the Zendo stage. So that will be number 3, this one, then comma, then this guy here, and then close the parenthesis and press the enter key. Now I will start with equal sum. I will select is number 4, this one, comma, the 16,000 from the other workbook, comma, this one, and then close it and press the enter key. For the utilities, number 9, so that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one. So you will start with equal sum. Double click it. So that's the one here. Comma. And then we need this one. Then comma. Then this one. And then hold the shift and the 0 to close the parentheses. And that was the utility projected expense for all the different workbooks. Now we're gonna do the maintenance. So the maintenance will be this one. So what's the number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's so you will start with equal sum, the sum function, double click it. So we said they are number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one, comma, this one, comma, press the comma, and then this one, then shift and the 0 to have the parentheses, and then we're done with that one. Next, we will select equal sum, double click the sum function. Now that's the second last one, so comma, then this one, comma, and the third workbook, this one, and then hold the shift and 0 for the parentheses and enter. Now the last one, the administrative, you will start equal sum, double click it, the last one, comma, the last one in the second sheet or workbook, comma, and the last one here, and then close the parentheses and then enter. So it tells us that these are the amounts. So the next thing is you can also create a chart. So I will maximize this one. And then we have to create a pie chart, right? So select this and select this. Go to insert pie chart, and then you want the 3D one, or you want the 2D one. It's up to you. Okay. Then the next one is we want to change the style. So click this and change it to this. And then we will do the same thing that we did. So we will change this, and this will be 2018 projected expenses. Now I can drag this guy here, and I can move this down. All right. And then the same thing, if you want this slice to be exploded, so select that slide, then do until you see the dots on that gray slide. Do right click on it, and then format the data point, and then you can explode it to 20%. And then if you want to rotate the slice, for example, if you want to do this, you see it's moving. So you can rotate this. I can say 80. Maybe 120. So to rotate it, obviously what we need is that you can keep on changing this. You want it here. And then we need the leader stuff. So click on the chart, click this. So again, you need to be sure that you click. So that's not the one I'm looking at. So obviously, we will do right click and format the data labels. And then show. And then the next one, we want the percentage, and that's it. Right? Now close the format data label, and then you can also do this. You can go here, data labels, and then you can say more, and then we want outside end, and then close it. Then you can move this. Everything look perfect. So after that, so everything is done. Now I will show you something. I will close my master, the consolidated, right? I will close, I will save the changes. Now, let's say I am in this one, the separate worksheet. And then I will change the value. Suppose I will make this to be, let's first see what was the actual value before we changed it. So I will open my folder, and I will open this. So remember, it was 244 401, right? It was 24,401, 244,401, right? So I closed it. Now I close this one. I save the changes. I will close this one too. I will save it. Now, what I will do next, this one, I will close it too, save the change. Now I will open the Durate data expense worksheet. See, it open a separate Excel. Now here from 80, I will change this to, let's say, 40,000. Right? So I will close, I will save the changes. Now I will open my 2018 consolidated expenses worksheet, a workbook. See in the top what it says. A security warning, automatic update of links has been disabled. Do you want to enable the content? So look, it still is not been changed, right? So I will say enable. You see what happened from 244 to 204 because I changed one of the workbook stuff to 204. Now close it, save it. Let's open the Truman. Let me change the last one, which is the last one is the administrative. So we're gonna give that 5,000. Right. So close it, save the changes, open your master file, which is the 2018 consolidated expenses. Now it says there is something has been updated. So do you want to update? So look, the administrative was 7,301.0 So yes, we need to update it so that we're gonna get the changes updated here too. So I will say update. All right. So this ends my chapter number 5 about working with multiple worksheet and workbooks. And I hope that you learn a lot from this YouTube video, and also is gonna benefit you down the road. So enjoy. Have a nice day. Bye.